The best thing about this hobby, and really any hobby, is seeing your friend succeed, seeing him grow, seeing him become something more, and that's exactly what we have here. This is a production knife designed by my knife friend, Mr. Jim Skelton. You guys probably know of him. I've followed him for so long, watching his reviews, watching him start making knives, watching him start designing production folders, and I finally get a chance to get my hands on one. This is the Scaphoid folder from Mr. Jim Skelton, produced by Tuya Knives. That is the OEM. And I got to say, before I jump in this any further, very impressed with Tuya. I am not familiar with any of their other stuff. This is my only example that I've held, and it is top-notch and extremely impressive. Keep an eye on them. So this is a folding version of a fixed blade that Jim makes. So the Scaphoid, which I believe is a bone in your wrist, is what it's named after. Started as a custom fixed blade that Jim produced, and then he turned it into a production folder, and this thing is outstanding. I picked it up the other day as part of the drop of this knife, and it just came in today, and I've got to say that I am extremely, extremely impressed with what this is offering, as well as the build quality, the size, the weight, everything involved. Let's jump into it. Let's do it. Let's talk size. This is a very lightweight and very carryable knife. So if EDC is your game, this is going to fit that perfectly. 3.5-inch blade, 8 inches overall, well, 8 and an eighth, so almost 8 inches. Very compact size. The weight, however, just from feeling it, was very impressive. All of this carbon fiber in here really takes that weight down and makes it super carryable. 4 ounces. 4 ounces for a titanium frame lock that is not a micro-sized knife. The other notable thing on this knife is that it is S90V, ladies and gentlemen. Not M390, S90V. That is very, very impressive. Look at this blade profile, this extended, Americanized tanto with that tip. Like, that is a piercing tip if I have ever seen one. Tuya is doing an outstanding job on these grind lines. You can see the satin flat right there. And then you've got this compound grind where you can just see perfect grinds on there. Absolutely cool. Absolutely cool. The action is on fire. It fires like a rocket. You can see how high this flipper tab is. It's got jimping on the top. You can see how they inset the stop pin to bring up this flipper tab so you have more leverage. For those that don't know, the higher the flipper tab is to your pivot, the more of a kind of a switch type action you're going to get, where you just press on it and it just flies open, and this is no exception. I believe it's running on bearings. I have not taken this apart, but it feels like bearings, and I would assume it's bearings. You can see how they've got a channel milled out so that it's nice and shouldered when it engages with that stop pin, so that you have very good lock-up engagement that won't move on you as it starts to wear in. Lock bar insert. You've got chamfers inside here. Really easy to get to that lock bar to undo this thing. It isn't a hidden screw, but it is inset. Titanium is blasted, bead blasted. You don't see that as much nowadays. It looks really, really classy, really nice. These inlays are done so well. I see no gaps. Nice and smooth. No voids in that carbon fiber either. Done really, really well. I also like this screwless flat pivot head right here. Looks really nice, really clean, really classy. Milled titanium pocket clip. Really perfect tension. Lifted perfectly. It goes in and out of the pocket so well. Semi-open construction. Can't feel the blade. Nothing weird going on there. Everything is nice and chamfered. You've got this back spacer. Lanyard hole is the only thing that maybe you could critique. It would be really hard to get anything in there without taking this apart. But you can certainly do that. If you want to put a lanyard in there, it might be best to take this scale off. That way you have full access to it, and then you can put anything you want through there. This is just done so well. And what I would kind of classify this as is a cool mix between gentleman, classy type folder with this aggressive blade. The thing that really drew me to this design is the juxtaposition of this curvy handle, kind of swells out right here, and then it's got this narrow, extended, sharp, Americanized tanto, and I just like the duality of these two things happening. So I believe this is the second production folder that Jim's done. I could be wrong, but out of the two, in my opinion, this is the most outstanding one. This looks absolutely amazing, and the ergonomics match how good it looks. It's super comfortable, super light, super easy to carry, and very functional. Imagine all the things you could do with that tip. And I mean this sincerely, guys. It is very impressive. Like I said, I was initially drawn to kind of just the visuals of it, but after getting it in hand, it just feels so good. If I had to nitpick anything, and this is minor, this flipper tab does kind of dig into my hand a little bit. If I am gripping this thing tightly, the size of my hand and the way it fits in, this corner does kind of dig a tad, right? Not a huge deal. All I have to do is just scoot back a little bit. If I put my pinky on kind of this extra little piece here, it frees up enough room that it's not in the way. But when I first grabbed this knife, and this is just me, you may be different, I do tend to choke up all the way, and that tab does kind of come down and hit me a little bit. The thing is, though, is to adjust that, you would have to lower this tab, which would affect how well it fires, like I just mentioned before. But very, very minor complaint. Ooh, this jimping is good too. This jimping is rock solid. Normally, I wouldn't do a video this quick. Normally, I would want to sit on this knife for a little bit longer, kind of put together what my thoughts are. I just couldn't wait. I had to get this out there. I believe these are still available. If they are still available, go pick one up. You will not be disappointed. Well, I mean, obviously, if this just isn't your jam, it's not your jam. If you're into more giant overbuilt folders, then maybe this isn't for you. But if you're looking for kind of an aggressive, beautiful looking EDC, very carryable and very well done knife, this is your guy. This is your guy. And Tula Knives, man, good freaking job. I am not familiar with the stuff they've done. This is the first time I've handled a Tuya knife, and I am very, very impressed. This is like Riot level quality. I don't know if they're consistent with that. I don't know if Jim just did really strong specs and requirements on these, and the rest of their knives aren't quite as good. That I don't know, but this one is an insane example of a killer production of one of Jim's knives. So go check it out. Scaphoid, Mr. Jim Skelton. I'm sure you know who he is. If you don't, check him out. He's an awesome dude, does great videos, and also makes amazing knives. All right, guys, I'm out. Comment down below. I went and picked one of these up because you need to, and the price on these are excellent. All right, guys, I'm out. Catch you later.